It's going down like this, motherfucker.
This shit is crazy. The following
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bet the ball. Off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog needs slop Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
For what he has, for what he has, for what he has, he says that for what he has, he says that the for what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying.
I just left a light in this bitch. I'm finna hit the shop in this shit.
Hey, where are the white women at?
I'm trying to told you just with Herbie, man.
Hey, where are the white women at?
I'm trying to told you just with Herbie, man. No, her mind is fucked. God damn it, shit.
Hey, where are the white women at?
I'm trying to told you just with Herbie, man. No, her mind is fucked. God damn it, shit.
Well, gotta get a piece of mind. Sometimes a little like magic. A little like magic.
Yes, he destroy black boys. Yes, he destroy black boys. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
Joe V.
Yes, he destroy.
He looked down, seen his feet. The nigga went berserk. Killed the monkey. Threw the bat out the window. Start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also, because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously.
You don't understand. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's. Group of you together. Group of you together. Group of you together, you never can tell who's who.
I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
My eye, plus I'm in love with my eye, plus I'm in love with a bitch I can't stand.
TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators.
You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
Dance
white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama, and you.
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky?
I'm in nigga. Don't know me, want it. Nigga.
Where's all that noise? Where's all that noise? Where's all that noise? Oh, that's just Daddy.
Your lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it?
Come with baggage, just not asking Louis Vuitton. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like that. Bitch niggas, hoe niggas, rich niggas, broke bitch. I told niggas this was on, yeah, right. Come with baggage, just not asking Louis Vuitton. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like that. Bitch niggas, hoe niggas, rich niggas, broke bitch. I told niggas this was on, yeah, right. Come with baggage, just not asking Louis Vuitton. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like that. Bitch niggas, hoe niggas, rich niggas, broke bitch. I come with baggage, just not asking Louis Vuitton. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like that. Bitch niggas, hoe niggas, rich niggas, broke bitch. I told niggas this was on, yeah, right here.
The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass.
I think we OD. I think we OD. I think we OD.
For my word, can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard. That's the difference when you're my baby. That's how it is when you're doing the styles on them like it's common sense. Doing the styles on them like it's common. Doing the styles on them like it's common.
Used to snort cocaine, now I beam for the check, yeah. Used to snort cocaine, now I beam for the check, yeah.
Like I said, you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
Baby, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I hit the loot juice. It pulls up in the baby, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I hit the loot juice. It pulls up in the baby, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I hit the loot juice. It pulls up in the deuce. Baby, I'm a I hit the loot.
Do that dance, baby, do that dance, let's work it.
Slapping folks is satisfying. She don't like me, but I didn't know, guess it was underlying. Slapping folks is satisfying. She don't like me, but I didn't know, guess it was underlying. Slapping folks is satisfying. She don't like me, but I didn't know, guess it was underlying. Slapping folks is satisfying. She don't like me, but I didn't know, guess it was underlying.
Lean and walk, lean, walk, lean, walk.
To the east, to the north, west, to the south, above, below, in the Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. Well, I guess that's where I'm supposed to come in. Been a few days. It's been a few days until I met you. And you know how we come. Super cold. There we go. And we start the show by telling you what the favorite drink is of the host, which is me, Big Pontiac. And again, we're hitting you with Great Lakes Amber Ale. So pop them if you got them. Put my can opener back on my balancer. Oh. And up here I have my favorite glass, which is the George Killian's Red. So pop them if you got them. I'm glad I took this motherfucker out. This motherfucker was frozen. Woo, listen to that. Woo. So cheers. Cheers. And I'm not smoking, but I am taking the herbal gummies, so pop them if you want them. Smoke them if you want them, for sure. Well, what's happening? The only game going on other than college, and I say this is the time to really get into the college game, because, you know, when you start making them picks, you have a little more chance of seeing how the fix is produced in college, because, you know, college is not quite as sophisticated. Like, remember the last, when Virginia won the championship, remember, I showed a play, well, it was on my old channel, but I showed a play where the Virginia had lost. Dude shooting from the corner, and of course, he puts his hand up and he hits him with the body on purpose. On purpose. That same tournament, Ivy. Remember Ivy from Purdue? Great team, throwing the ball away on purpose. Now he's rewarded by playing with a bad Pistons team. But that shit for Virginia was so ridiculous. Like, and again, you don't close out and you don't make that contact like I'm with the mic. We see that so often. There's something really fake. So, yeah. So, Dr. Sinister, thank you for joining. And I know you never have to worry about
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches?
I know you can control your bitches. PJ Allen, what's happening? And I know you can always control
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches?
El Reborn, Amaroon Khan, what is happening? And I know you definitely got
to have vision.
Oh, Jamar 3224, what's happening? And I know you got to have
vision.
So thank you everybody for coming. I've ran across some weird shit. Let me see if it's in my history, if I can show this shit, because this shit was like, this nigga, it was American, but let me see if I can. All right, I guess I got a couple of this weirdo dude. I guess I'll start with the Lakers. The Lakers won tonight. Did y'all check it out? I don't know how many games was tonight. That was the only game I got, and that was on the NBA Network. And it had 23-24 Golden State versus LA. And I'm looking at that like, is this some kind of replay or some shit? Like, why would they have to put 23-24? When do they normally do that? It's just Lakers versus, but it was one nice win in double overtime. Steph, and in the first overtime, Steph hit a money jumper. That was money. So that was a pretty good shot. And the number 15 for the Lakers, he kind of kept him in. D'Lo like made a stupid play right before regulation. I was like, man, this dude helped him tie it up. So, hey, Lorenzo, what is happening? Thank you for joining. And I know you definitely got
to have vision.
And so the game was kind of interesting. Yeah, so that was about all that went on today. It wasn't too much other than college. I saw Kentucky beat the shit out of LSU. I saw a little bit of that game. Between games, I kind of caught that. So, James Gant, what's happening? Thank you for joining. And this time of night, I know you definitely got to have
vision.
Let me see. What do I want to get in tonight? I thought they didn't start the second half of the season until tomorrow. Yeah, the Lakers play tonight. I don't think that was a replay game. Maybe it was a replay game, but I thought it was live. LSU won. LSU beat Kentucky. Wow. Okay. Because they was getting blowed out. That was a replay. The Lakers play Golden State tomorrow night. Okay, thank you. I couldn't tell. Because I was wondering, why did it say 20? So, yeah, that was the only game. Okay, that was a replay. Okay, thank you. LSU beat Kentucky by 1. Wow, they was blowing them out by, shit, it was 25 when I was watching. Okay, they beat them. Okay, I missed that. What was the other game? It was one other game I was watching. Kentucky lost on a buzzer beater. Oh, they lost on a buzzer beater. Okay. Wow. Because they was getting, I quit watching. I started watching, did y'all watch? It's on Netflix. It's called Killer Paradox. Did y'all watch that on Netflix yet? Killer Paradox. Okay, that's a replay game. Okay, I was wondering why it said 23-24. I thought that was very odd. I watched the game though. I turned away from the college, started watching that one. But okay, I figured something was weird about the game. This is the first thing I want to go over. I already got it, so I don't need that. Now we did a story the other night about Angela Chu. And I want to show you, let me see when we can get away from the commercial. Okay, and this guy breaks it down. Okay, and I did the death on Angela Chu the other day, and this guy gives a little information about how this billionaire corporate owner owns, a mass amount of money, and how her Tesla ends up in 15 feet of water. So he breaks it down a little bit for us. And maybe they'll get me for this. I don't know, but I think it's important what he got to say.
Under the Trump administration. So I got some new details for you guys to get to, and I'll share that with you here. It was published today in the morning. Now, this is a follow-up because there's some new details that are actually really important to understanding why now I think that Angela Chow's death is not so simply as an incident of suicide or whatnot, okay? First of all, very strange thing is that the local sheriff's office, they've refused to release details regarding this case. Now, this does not mean that there's foul play here, but it does mean that this case is being taken either very seriously or it's trying to hide something, okay? Again, I'm not trying to say that they're being bribed to not release information, but I just think that something fishy is going on. Anyways, let's get into this, okay? So it says here, on February 11th, EMS responders were called to the 100 block of Schneider Lane in Johnson City at 12:03 a.m. for a reported water rescue. Okay, this is very important to understand because 12:03 a.m., this is February 11th. All right, this is Editing David coming to you. Now, one of the details that I didn't mention in the video was that the person who called for the 911 actually had to reveal details about where the location of this happening. Now, who in the right mind in the middle of the night will go to this pond and basically, learn about that there's this water incident involving a car, right? So it makes me think that this basically proves that somebody else was there and they somehow witnessed the crime taking place, or somehow it has to relate to the process in which Angela Trow drowned. And otherwise, this is the middle of nowhere. And so the person that called the 911 is the most important person, and we know zero details about who that person is right now. And this 100 block of Schneider Lane is a detail that was previously not known to the public until it was released by Benjamin Oakley, who is the EMS chief of Blanco County Emergency Services District Number 1. Okay, so this just came out. Now, if you go on Google and you look up 100 Schneider Lane, let's go here. Okay, so this is 100 Schneider Lane. Now, this is nowhere near a pond or lake or anything like that, as suggested by the article, which says that it was a water rescue, right? Water rescue. So I did some looking around, and here's what I found. So let me turn to this, okay? So first I went on Google Maps. This is 100 Schneider Lane. I first went to the right side here because I was like, oh, there's a body of water here. That's a pond, right? Because so basically what happens when you dam off a creek, this is the Miller Creek, right? The Miller Creek, that's what this body of water is called. If you put a dam here, as this one has, you essentially can make it into a pond. And that's what, I guess that's a way you can sort of create an artificial pond, because you technically block off the water. Now, so I go here, right? And I go to my little guy, and I kind of go to the end point, which is where, there's no more satellite for this. So I go to the end point here. And it leads me to this, which is, if you take a look here onto the left side, now this was taken in April of 2023. So this was recent, but not so recent, right? Not as recent as the incident. And then so I basically go to JW Ranch. I'm like, what the heck is JW Ranch? If you search JW Ranch, I'll save you all the hassle. It's 101 Schneider Lane. So it's not 100 Schneider Lane, but it's 101 Schneider Lane. And the address is this, right? It belongs to the former CEO of IBM, who also resigned, I believe, from AveNet. So his name is William Emilio, and his wife, Jamie Emilio. Now, after sifting through a bunch of their social media, blah, 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 her most recent post for Jamie was actually 5 days ago, which means that if they were somehow involved in this, it's very likely that they will be under investigation, so they wouldn't be still appearing in public. So I got rid of that, right? Now, obviously, there was the Kyle Bass information dump, which was from the very first day. This was February 14th, which says that Chow entered her Tesla and backed into a pond on the ranch and passed away. Now, Kyle Bass is a trusted source on China information, so I believe his words. Unfortunately, though, I don't know which pond or which ranch he's talking about, but it is in Blanco County, which is where the incident is happening, right? Okay, so let's continue. Let's go back first to our ranch here. So basically, I go back to my bird's eye view. I've eliminated 101 Ranch, which is this little part here, as sort of my suspected area of where this happened, because again, the emergency responders aren't telling you, the entire sheriff's office, they're not telling you about these details. They're just saying that there's no foul play involved. So I'm like, okay, something's fishy is going on here, right? And then I look to the left side, which is this pond here. That's also still Miller Creek. But if you drag your little guy over to this part, you get this view, which is called B or something, right? And then I went and looked at the road sign here. If I zoom closely to that, it's Bird Ranch. Okay, so Bird Ranch is very interesting because if we just kind of keep going down this road here, you see that this is actually again, another dammed off creek, which is called a pond again. So that fits, if you go back to our original article, it says, so an ambulance arrived at 12:12 a.m. At the scene. Remember the
Okay, so what he breaks down and what he ends up telling you is what he's showing you how's it possible that she backed her car into this reservoir creek. And so that's what he's trying to tell you. And it appears like they took this person out. So what's happening, CWE? Thank you for joining me. Lakers suck. Go Duke. Yeah, Duke is looking pretty good. And I know V up this late, you definitely got to have.
Got to have vision.
So this story I'm showing is the story about there was a Japanese woman that died last week that's a billionaire that runs a major company, and it looks like it was foul play. So I'm gonna let him keep chopping for a little longer and show you how he breaks it down.
The actual call was, I believe, made sometimes around 12:03. Okay, and it says where a car containing one person was completely submerged in a pond, estimated to be between 12 to 15 feet deep. That's according to Oakley, who is the EMS, Blanco County EMS chief, Ben Oakley. Okay, so what does 15 feet of pond looks like? Well, this is a YouTube video that shows a 15-foot tall this frame for a swimming pool. So it doesn't look that high, actually. But then if you go on to talk about the size of a, let's see here, dimension of a Tesla, right? That's the car that she's supposedly drowned in. The overall height.
Now, let me mention this. Now, recently, Tiger Woods, it was his tournament that the Genesis tournament. And remember, he just pulled out of that tournament. But remember, when Tiger Woods got fucked up, it was in one of them Genesis cars. And all of a sudden, he rolled a brand new car down the hill. They want to make you think that he was drunk and driving so fast that he missed it. No. I think what happened to this lady happened to Tiger Woods. They were able to, automate that car and roll Tiger Woods down the hill. They've tried to kill Tiger a couple times, so Tiger's still kind of hanging in there, but that's what they did to this lady. It seems like they put that car on automatic and made that car go into this water and killed her. So he's breaking it down for you.
Height is about 64 inches, which is about 5.3 feet. So, given the size of this here, and later on, which I found on a real estate website, I don't know if it shows in this one here. So again, this is the actual listing for this. The dam itself, right? So this dam here, this one. Let me try to get a picture of this so I can show you here. This one. Oops. So the dam itself is about 30 feet. Okay, so 30 feet, about 15 feet of water makes sense, right? And so the Tesla was completely submerged in here. So this essentially became my sort of primary area, which is very close. So going back again to this, right? So this is from distance from Schneider Lane would be, let's see here. Okay, so it's about a minute drive or about an 8-minute walk. So it is, so remember 100 Schneider Lane was where the call was supposedly made. That's where the EMS arrived in. This is about, now if the details I remember correctly is, about 9 minutes later, responders discovered a vehicle underwater. So by the time that they arrived at 100 Schneider Lane, to the time that they took for them to arrive at this pond here, it takes about less than 10 minutes for them to do that. Now, this is the middle of the night, remember, right? So there's not a lot of light everywhere. But if you are from the Blanco County and you sort of familiarize yourself with this area, which I'm sure the EMS responders are familiar with, they can probably guess that,
So he breaks down that the woman was probably murdered. And ain't nobody else really caring. This woman was murdered. And this woman is related to Mitch McConnell. Now, let me see. Do I have all of them? I'm going to play this one. Okay. Now, I don't know if y'all know who this nigga is. Do y'all know who this nigga is? Because I don't know who this nigga is. And this nigga says he has a clone. I think this is the clone. Now, I don't know where he's from, but it is hard as hell to understand what his English. But this nigga said what he's talking about here is how he blew his money, but he still got a clone. So let's hear it.
I couldn't understand how all the money then you end up broke again. So I mean,
That's what I want. I took the money I had and I bought me a clone that nobody lives, and I ain't even broke shit. That's what I want.
How do you think how do you think what you're doing is going to affect the world? You got a clone. Nobody's did that. Nobody put their clone or
They got clones. Don't get me, I ain't the first one with the clone. I'm the first one to show the clone.
you the first one to show the clone. You don't think the higher powers out to come get you. You have street, you have
I'm happy to have them. They always come to the platform, but it's how you do it, right? Because people, they ain't gonna believe me. They gonna comment and say I'm lying. And long as they do that shit, I'm good. That's what I want. As long as people don't believe, I'm good. That's what I want. So I ain't got to worry about it. But people don't believe me yet, so they think I'll be lying. So it's good.
So I've seen it about all.
He's like really a fiend for weed. Like, who smokes the roach that low? I mean, damn. I mean, y'all hip to this nigga? Let me see. There's some more where he talks about his clone. Let me see. I got some more where he talks about his clone. I thought, because I was like, damn, who is this? Oh, maybe I don't. I listened to more than one story about him. Maybe I didn't. Huh. I'm going back. I know I listened to more stories about that nigga. Twins is a clone. Yeah, that's a good point. Twins would be a clone. Where is it? Oh, here he is. I got a little more. So, okay, so this is more about him talking about his clone. His English is terrible, so please forgive me.
Something nobody never had. I brought a clone. The pot skippers. It's coming at you so fast.
How did you get the effects and the clone? How did you? So the clone is real. So we seen a clone, but how you think people react to that? You actually having the clone it.
Not the big. They thought it was effects. That's what I'm saying. You probably thought it was effects. That's why you said that. And then the effect is real. That's what I'm wrong. Like it's kind of difficult though, right? Because I keep on showing this shit and it's dangerous. Because I brought in something nobody never had. I brought a clone. The pot skippers. It's coming at you so fast.
How did you get the effects and the clone? How did you? So the clone is real. So we seen a clone, but how you think people react to that? You actually having the clone it.
Not the big. They thought it was effects. That's what I'm saying. You probably thought it was effects. That's why you said that. And then the effect is real. That's what I'm wrong. Like it's kind of difficult though, right? Because I keep on showing this shit and it's dangerous. Because I brought in something nobody never.
Yeah, so I don't know, y'all. This nigga says he's a clone. What do y'all think? Why they cloned him? I guess he was able to buy it some kind of way. So I don't, this nigga's name is at 607 clone, maybe 607 unk. So I just caught this and what do y'all think about it? Because if I had a clone, I don't know what I'd do with him. I mean, I guess, I don't know, I guess he could still work, but maybe, I don't know what I would do with my clone. Hey, Don Juan, thank you for joining. I'm sorry. And I know to be up this late, you got to have
vision.
Some days you put a camera in front of them. That's funny. That's a good point, though. Motherfuckers trying to find a way to be relevant. So that's all I know about it. I just thought that was a little bit of interesting. They brought this dude, and I couldn't understand his English, and I was like, damn, why would he be allowed to have a clone? He can't even talk. Oh, okay, I got more of him. Okay.
Stop.
Okay. Okay, he's talking about St. Louis, maybe? So let's go. He's talking about St. Louis, and I don't know if he mentions his clone or not.
Let's say style, so let's go St. Louis with everybody knows St. Louis, no city style, so
He's a little short dude, but look how bad he's sweating. Almost. Gosh, I would say, damn, almost like he's speedballing. That's what he looked like to me, like he's speedballing. But let's go.
You can't even say St. Louis without saying city style. That's what I'm on this city style. So
you think he had a big influence in the scene?
Style.
Okay, so he didn't say nothing about the clone. He didn't say nothing about the clone. Let's see if he can.
Greatest hidden.
Okay. He didn't say nothing about the clone there. Rich niggas, poor niggas, street niggas. This is my year, my year. So I don't know. He's a goofy dude. He looked dirty. Yeah. And I mean, he like, like he is smoking every little bit. And that's a fiend. That's how fiends act. When it ain't no more joint left, but they got this little bit. Like, I think it might, I put it, is it in here? Yeah, it is a little bit. Like, really, I'm going to be trying to smoke that little roach? Get the fuck out of here. I don't need to. I'm hyped up on the gummies. Yeah, I think that's all I had of that dude. But it was like, damn, I couldn't even understand what he was talking about. It's like, nigga, why would they give the most, the nigga that can't talk, why would he get a clone? Maybe this is some more of it.
Want to speak on?
Oh, maybe he got a little more to say. This is some more of this goofy dude. Here we go. Let's see what else he got to say.
I don't got no. Hey, that's an old enough fuck you, mom. Rich enough fuck your bitch. I've been here a long time, or I've been here a short time. You will never know. But all you know is I'm in our favorite though. But stop playing with me. I can do everything. That's what I'm wrong. Them old niggas mad and them young niggas mad.
Want to speak on that?
I don't got no. Hey, that's an old enough.
He said the old niggas is mad and the young niggas is. Oh, just Jody. Let Jody go.
Is the second half of life a lot about healing from the first half of life? Is it?
That's just Jody.
Want to speak on that?
This is.
I don't got no. Hey, that's an old enough fuck you, mom. Rich enough fuck your bitch.
This nigga ain't getting no pussy. God damn. Who is fucking this weird nigga? First of all, this nigga can't speak English to ask a bitch for some pussy. She'd be like, what is you talking about? That's right. Tells me the jury. Okay, yeah, see it again. This appears like mescanite. That's what all this appears like, mescanite. And again, this is supposed to be the costume now. This is the costume. You got to have something like this, which is not very practical, but it's a costume. And I mean, what is he's got he doesn't have a t-shirt on. He's just got the jacket thrown over there. I mean, he's not looking very kept up, but this is a costume. This is all a costume, like the platinum, you can get all this in mescanite and it's way cheaper. So, I don't know him. I don't know his pimping, but he's a funny nigga, no doubt. He's a funny motherfucker, no doubt. This is my year, my year. Rich niggas, poor niggas, street niggas. This is my year, my year. So I think that's all I had of him. Phone don't be shit to do. Don't want to watch TV. So I get to watching niggas and I think that's all I had. Yeah, that's all I had of him. So I don't know. Like, it's funny. He's like the most unlikely person in the world to have a clone, but he's coming out and say he got one. And evidently the person whose channel it is seen the clone. So I don't even know. You remember, what was it called? Michael, what's his name? He played where he made a bunch of clones. And like what happens is they brought him to the point where he made all these clones. One of the clones was retarded. Do y'all remember that? Michael, the first Batman Michael, or the second, Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton made a movie called, what was that movie? But he made a lot of clones and shit. And then all the clones end up fucking his wife. Do y'all remember that? The clones all fucked his wife, especially the retarded clone. The retarded clone ended up fucking his wife too. And she was liking the way all of them was fucking her. And he was a little upset at the clones because the clones was hitting his wife and shit. But he set it all up like that. Anybody remember the name of that movie? But it's Michael Keaton. Like the end of Paid in Full told us where it's going. Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of. I feel that. Rich niggas, poor niggas, street niggas. This is my year, my year. Oh. So I got a shocking, man. Now I showed a story about, this is shocking. I showed a story about three cops got killed. Well, three cops got shot. One cop got killed. Y'all ain't gonna believe who did it. Y'all ain't gonna believe it. This sound like a story, straight European. We got fooled.
Here is a look back at.
Okay, this is the shooting we had. I talked about the other night, and they show. I think they're going to show the shooter, and y'all gonna be surprised.
How this all started. Investigators say that the first responders were answering a call for help from inside a Burnsville home on Sunday morning. 7 children were inside and are all okay. After about a 3-hour standoff, police say that Shannon Gooden started firing out a window at the officers. There are still questions about how he got the gun. Reg Chapman now picks up our team coverage with some answers and the latest on the investigation. Reg.
Amelia, the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Investigation, or the BCA, is leading the investigation into this deadly shooting of 3 first responders here in Burnsville. WCCO has learned that the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the ATF, is also...
I hate to interrupt, but okay, y'all, when you see this zipper right here, this come from 19. This is from 19. This is, I guess they put these zippers here for your phone, but when you see this, this is 19 style. All right. So you want to stay away from this because it's a dated style. All right. Maybe zippers on both sides looks a little better, but this is from 2019, y'all. This style, don't buy this style. This style is 2019. But let's go, Rex.
Assisting. We're asking the questions you all want answers to. How did the man identified as the gunman?
This nigga's the one that popped him. It was a nigga, y'all. I was so surprised. I was like, it's got to be a European the way they talked about it. Because you know what threw me off? This is what threw me off. They was covering their ass in a press conference, and they said, how many calls have you had at that residence? And they said, not many. That made me think, like, okay, this got to be a European, because it's a nigga, they'd be like, yeah, we've been there a million times. No. This is the one that killed 3 people right here. This nigga right here.
38-year-old Shannon Gooden get access to guns when he was prohibited by law. It's believed one aspect of the investigation could be how Gooden acquired guns that were used Sunday morning, given the lifetime ban he was under. In 2007, Gooden was convicted of weapons assault after a fight outside a shopping center. Records show Gooden got in a fight with a man and pulled out a knife and threatened to stab him. A security guard took the knife, and then Gooden threw landscaping rocks at the victim, hitting him and breaking the rear window of a car. August 2020, Gooden petitioned the court to regain his rights to own a gun. He explained that he wanted to protect himself and his family. Dakota County Attorney's Office denied the petition, pointing to 2 petitions for orders for protection filed against them by women with whom he shared children. Neither mother successfully obtained an order for protection. Prosecutors tell WCCO searching for how Gooden got the guns used in Sunday's shooting will be a big part of this investigation. Lawyers we spoke with believe the focus will be looking for straw purchasers or someone who buys a gun for a person who is prohibited from possessing one. According to Minnesota law, if a person buys a gun for a felon, that person can face a gross misdemeanor and up to a year in prison. Now, if a person buys or transfers a gun to a known felon, and that known felon uses that gun for a crime of violence within a year, they face up to 5 years in prison.
So it was a brother. This, they showed him. I didn't see that. Let's see that. Let's show that.
Lawyers we spoke with believe the focus will be looking for straw purchasers or someone who buys a gun for a person who...
Wow. So this is him.
...was prohibited from...
That's a shotgun, I think.
...possessing one. According to...
So, yeah, this was... So, yeah, they're still shook, and this is what, so I was shocked. My mother called me the next day, she was like, it's the nigga that did it, it's the nigga that did it. So I was quite shocked, and I couldn't wait to tell y'all that it was a nigga that killed all them people. And, that they're having the funerals for the 3, this is the kind of thing they all talk about, the funeral for them. And this is, I showed this. Let's see. This is our year. I don't use that shit.
Solemn tribute today outside of Burnsville.
Now, Let me show you this. This is what's funny. So when they showed the press conference, it was a lot of Europeans, you know, but this milk dud head dude was standing up because, you know, they want to show some color. So this is one of them's cruiser. I don't know if this is a shot up cruiser or what, but this is one of their cruisers.
City Hall. Flags here and across the state are flying at half staff to honor 3 fallen first responders.
These are the 3 who lost their lives, officers Matthew Ruge and Paul Elmstrand, and firefighter Adam Finseth. Here's new video of a moving tribute to Finseth. Fire trucks and police officers guided his hearse from Minnetonka down Highway 169 to Jordan.
Officer Adam Medlicott was also shot. He was in the hospital, but is now recovering at home. The shooting yesterday morning has saddened and shocked the state.
Tributes continue to pour in today. State investigators are also looking to gather clues. You can see the evidence markers outside of the home where the shooting took place. Meanwhile, the memorial outside of Burnsville City Hall is growing. People have come from far and wide to pay their respects.
My wife just came in and prayed, and you just kind of like your heart.
And if you guys remember, this is how cold this nigga, what he did. I thought I'm gonna keep seeing if it shows one of the children's mamas. Oh, here she is. Let me see if she tells what happened again. She told what happened when he at the end. Let me see if they catch this.
Here's what her 12-year-old daughter lived through.
She actually was in the bedroom with her dad the whole entire time. She says she tried to like run in the bathroom to, I guess, get away from like.
She let this nigga hit it. Like not just once, enough to have 2 or 3 children with him.
Like the chaos is going on, and she said she was in the bathtub, but then he started shooting out the bathroom window, and she got like glass shards on her arm.
The first
No, there was a part where she tells the same daughter she talks about saw him kill himself. He told her to turn her head, and she turned her head, and he killed himself. And she was the one that told the cops to come on in, and he was dead. So this is, you know, what they've been talking about up here. And, you know, I showed again, they've been popping cops up here. You know, it's not a good year for the local police. They've been on them. So I think so, you know, yeah, it's kind of hard to, it's kind of hard to like right. One of these videos here, and I showed a little bit, our Hennepin County and medical examiner prepared for a large scale if something happened. They obviously weren't prepared for George Floyd. The police were overwhelmed. They had to call in the state boys. They had to call in the National Guard. And it took them, and you know, like when I watched my dad, and I've talked about this many times. My dad he worked for the federal government, no doubt. He was spying on black groups, but they used to talk about ways where you could take cities down. And you know, it's like if you look at the main ingredients, how you take a city down and you take control of a city. I mean, really, that is what happened. The youth took over. And that's what scared the fuck out of them. Wasn't old people, it was teenagers. Mostly, it was people 15 to 25 that went crazy on George Floyd. And George Floyd was what? In his 40s. But this is who took over George Floyd, was 15, you know, this is the ones they didn't anticipate. And that's why when I get into, you know, them talking about when all of a sudden the switches show up. They quit policing certain parts of Minneapolis. Quit policing them. I mean, I had to go over there and pick up somebody or see my ex for some reason. Streets wasn't shoveled. Streets wasn't plowed. All that snow we had last winter, they wasn't plowing in Minneapolis. They say it's too dangerous. The plows get shot at. Come on now. Who the fuck is shooting at plows? So... And here's one. It says, our agency's better prepared for civil unrest. Now, I've said this before. I think part of Floyd was allowed. Part of it was allowed. And again, remember what was up here. We had the Super Bowl up here in 17. And then it was 17. We had the Super Bowl. And then 2 months later, we had the NCAA Final Four. And I went downtown to the U.S. Bank. All that Super Bowl shit. army of police. I mean, I have a police background. You know, I was certified police officer. You understand? You know, I have a associate's degree in criminal justice. I had never seen so many cops in my life. Like everywhere you went downtown, it was an army of cops. All right. After that, we went to the Vikings game in 18. Army of cops. And then Floyd comes, and all of a sudden, where did the army of cops go? Like, where did they go? The army of cops disappeared when Floyd came. It was no army of cops. They let the 3rd precinct burn down, and all of a sudden, he called in the National Guard. Now, my point, when I talked about the National Guard, I've said before, if you talk about real revolution and real trying to take over, it took a while for the National Guard to be activated because they live in neighborhoods. They got regular jobs. They got to go to the place, go get their weapons and shit, go gather from all around the state, then get together. That can be, that can be disrupted. Let me just say that. And not to keep myself in trouble, I had these niggas knocking on my door. All that can be disrupted. Because their next move with Floyd was to starve people. It was already happening. And then the Target that they took over, I've said this before, they quit. I talked to somebody who worked in there. They quit doing deliveries almost 2 or 3 days before Floyd. Floyd hadn't happened yet, and they quit doing deliveries to Target. Anybody that ever worked in a store, where do you see that? I used to sell clothes. I worked in a clothing store. I was managing a clothing store. We got clothes every day. Every day. If you worked at a normal Target, you get shit coming in every day, constantly. People there said 3 days before Floyd, they wasn't getting shit coming in. So I still think Floyd was staged. Mason Steven Jackson was part of it. Him and Steven Jackson look alike. Yep. Trailer's dad was a master mason, and when the crime scene, you see no blood. Well, it was never any blood. He was choked to death, if you remember. He was choked to death. And in 19, we can see where they practiced it. And one thing I hate about them taking my other channel, I had his girlfriend, Courtney. They wasn't showing Courtney too much. When they showed Courtney was a European, they quit showing her a whole bunch. But Trailer Martin, okay. Trailer's dad. Who is Trailer Martin? Stage, yeah, I could see that. Let me go with my point. In 19, before the riots, they played the same scenario with him. 3 or 4 people arrested him, and they kept going, "Oh, my mama, man. Oh, my mama, man." And that's interesting. And that's like young niggas think when they talk, they got to quantify, especially all these wannabe crooks, snitches out of Chicago. On my dead so-and-so. It's like they quantify when they talk. It's like if they don't quantify, you don't believe them. And they think they don't sound believable, so they got to quantify. The kid, Trayvon Martin. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is how they mock y'all. It is a Miller Lite commercial, and next time I see it, I'll record it. It's a Miller Lite commercial, and it's Miller Lite Bud Light. The dude goes to the counter. Check this out. Y'all saw this commercial. It's a Miller Lite commercial where the guy goes to the counter and the dude looks up and it's a Miller Lite store. So he takes the Bud Light back and he gets the Miller Lite. The dude at the counter looks like Zimmerman. Anybody else see that commercial out there? I'm like, this is how they mock you. The man that's working in the store looks like George Zimmerman. That is the mocking that they do. That is the mocking that they do. Yeah, I'm sorry. I guess that was definitely fake. That was definitely fake. Trayvon Martin was definitely fake. But again, it shows you that Mexicans can come over here and be Europeans, and the Europeans side with them. And that's the whole thing with the Biden thing, with Biden letting everybody come through New York, letting everybody come through Texas and the southern borders is the European looking Spanish. They tell us the Trayvon grandparents in a hot car and die. Well, yeah, his dad was a Mason, and they tell us the Trayvon grandparents let a kid. Oh, well, that was like I think a girl in Michigan did the same thing. She went in there and got her hair done, and her children fried in the car. Babies fried in the car. Perfect divide and conquer tactics. Indeed. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. And I've said before, I talked to somebody when they started tearing up, rioting and shit. And then, see, there was a thing about King lately on Netflix. Maybe it was on Amazon, but it was a thing on King in Memphis. And when they was doing they weren't protesting. When they were doing their march, all of a sudden some people came in black dress and started smashing windows. This is how long ago they started doing that. Zach Hubbard said when people were protesting when Donald Trump was Donald Trump was elected, they said they said a bunch of people went downtown Portland and was protesting. All of a sudden, dudes come off a bus, start busting windows. We catch a sergeant from the St. Paul Police Department. He was the one that broke the windows in Action Auto. Now, again, who's looting Action Auto? Now, when they started, so the police or the organized government starts the looting because that takes away from the power of the march. And again, like when they looked at Target, the first thing that was looted out of Target was toys. Toys was looted out of Target. And I personally talked to somebody that went into the Foot Locker and all the women and children's shoes was gone. She's like, oh yeah, all the bigger shoes was here. So it tells you who was taking shit. It wasn't just niggas, it was women, children taking shit. Because again, that is the aim of the organizers. They know poor people see free shit, and that takes the power away from why you're protesting in the first place. So see, people felt good for you because of Floyd. Everybody was with you when Floyd, but then you niggas started looting Target, and we don't like you anymore. We liked you when about Floyd, we was with you. But when you niggas started looting and you burned down the police station, we don't like you anymore. We don't like you anymore. We're not behind you. You see, again, there's pictures you can find of the person that broke the windows in Action Auto. His ex said, this is a sergeant from St. Paul. Put pictures of him everywhere. And all that was on my ex channel, my old channel. So, yeah. Peace. Wowzer. Peace does nothing. All that I'm saying is give peace a chance. All I am saying is give peace a chance. That's what they want niggas to do. That's all they want niggas to do. They because they know. And again, this is how long ago they started busting windows to take away from why you are protesting. It's probably even done in Detroit during the Detroit riots, because Detroit riots was because of police brutality. And they end up having to bring the tanks in. And let me get into that. See, all the people in Detroit had to do is get a bunch of old tires, start breaking down the expressway, burn them down, burn down the ways for the tanks to come into the black neighborhoods. That could have been, because again, it takes them a long time to get together. And then if you look at all the people that like Kent State, let me tell you about Kent State. Kent State was fake. Nobody got killed at Kent State, but what did they want to do? But Kent State was a message. Now, let me tell you who did get killed by unarmed people that got killed for college protesting. South Carolina State, 3 or 4 brothers got killed. That was real. Willie Grimes got killed in North Carolina A&T, my school. He got killed because niggas broke in to the ROTC and was popping at the regular police with automatic weapons. So do you know what the crackers did? And these was Klan crackers in North Carolina. They called the tanks and shit. The tanks start shooting up in the dorms with 50 millimeters. Niggas got ARs. And the Klan National Guard came in with tanks on campus shooting 50 millimeters, and that's how Willie Grimes got killed. So peace doesn't work. Remember the stacks of bricks showing out of nowhere? Exactly. Yeah. There's a bunch of, yeah. That was like that here too. They was finding a pallet of bricks, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to take away from the message so the common people don't feel sorry for you. That's what we see in the spin. Everybody's like with the Palestinians and they're against them peoples. And it's like them peoples is foul. And now them people's been exposed for being foul. Any more of this nigga? I think we saw enough of his criminal history. We saw it all. Oh, this is okay. This is I'm gonna show this. Protein. I'm gonna show this, and I refereed sports for 25 years. I coached for about 8 years. I coached football, high school football, and high school basketball. And the worst parents of all the sports I did, the worst parents were Little League Baseball. It was to the point where people didn't even want to ref. I mean, remember it was like, what was it, 08, 09. There was a guy who shot somebody at a Little League Baseball game. And what was so terrible about Little League Baseball that you didn't see anywhere else. You didn't see it in AAU basketball. You didn't see it in little boy football. But it was like every game, the parents really thought it was the World Series. I mean, I ran across so many refs that wouldn't even fuck with little boy baseball anymore because the parents were so out of pocket. And so I think that's what this article is. Finally, and I'm telling you, this was 06, 07. We had to put people out when we would do MYA. Was it MYAS? MYAS? We would have to, the rules changed where you couldn't say shit to us pretty much. And if you said shit to us, you got the fuck put out the gym. We had the option. We was reffing with some niggas that was from Muskegon, Michigan. They was, we knew the niggas, but they wasn't really our niggas, you understand? And so the night before we cool with these niggas, we all drinking Killian's Red and shit, and we cool. One of the niggas looked like Lauren Chestnut, whatever Chestnut's name is. Johnny. But anyway, the next day we reffed this nigga's nephew. This nigga nephew, something happened and he punches the motherfucker. I mean, he just went pow. Well, that's automatic suspension for the game you in and the next game. Now we're in fucking Fort Wayne, Indiana. They live in Muskegon, Michigan. They done drove 4 or 5 hours to come down there. This nigga can't play the rest of the game he played in, and he can't play the next game. And so we go eat after we reffing, and this nigga's in our face, was like, you didn't have to call that. And I'm like, he's really sweating my buddy because my buddy's littler than me. So he's sweating the shit out of my partner. And I'm like, look, nigga, you know the rules. Your nephew punched the motherfucker. Ain't nothing we can do about it. If it would have been in your game and somebody in your game punched somebody, you know what the rules. They get put out of that game and the next game. And if you don't get the fuck out of our face, we really gonna have a problem up in this motherfucker. I had to get on the nigga. He's like, it's like that. I'm like, yeah, you made it like that. Give a fuck how far they draw. Your son was wrong. But we put this one nigga out, and they laughed. We laughed about this. The dude was like just on my partner, My partner told that motherfucker, he said, look, dude, you got to go. Because we had the right to make motherfuckers leave the gym. He's like, I don't give a fuck if you go out that door right there or you go out that door over there. You got to get the fuck out the gym. And as soon as this nigga walked outside, it stormed. And I mean storm, where it's blowing the windows. This motherfucker's trying to come in and stay out the storm and shit. He's like, get the fuck out of here. But Daryl said, you can get the fuck out that door or that door. But it just shows you how motherfuckers, how they can be. They can be foul. They set that shit up. Indeed. So, So I think that's what this talks about. Let's see if it's some bullshit. I'll cut off if it, but it might. Let's see what they say. They're supposed to go after
Capital
parents.
aims to give some protection to youth sports referees. Fans who interfere with officials before, during, or after games could now get a hefty fine. Our Corin Hoggard is live at the Capitol with how a lawmaker's personal experience eventually led to this new bill. Corin?
Yeah, for the last almost 20 years, Representative John Hewitt has been a youth sports referee, but in the last year, he had a confrontational game that has him reconsidering the job, thinking about quitting.
From flying food to fists, youth sports referees are sometimes the targets of unsportsmanlike conduct from players, coaches, and parents.
I have heard horror stories, and so we want to just send the message.
The message from Representative John Hewitt could come in the form of a fine for unruly behavior targeting youth sports officials and a special gross misdemeanor for a physical attack. He says just putting it on the table may have helped maintain calm at a recent game.
The parents were chatting about it, but I got to tell you that stadium was pretty quiet then.
Physical attacks are still rare, but Hewitt says the Minnesota Amateur Sports Commission estimates there are...
Okay, let me tell you my experience. I'm pretty sure, and I'm not just name dropping, but I'm pretty sure I was at the game where Spencer Haywood punched a referee. The first time I ever seen a player go after a ref was Spencer Haywood. He went to the University of Detroit, which is now called Detroit Mercy. He punched a referee in the game I was at. I don't know if that's the game that put him out because he got put out of college basketball after that. But the second time I saw it, it was justified. We were at the regionals. It was Ben Harbor played one of them. Maybe, I don't know who they played, but it was a European team. These referees cheated so bad, it made no sense. Like it just, anybody watching saw that they was cheating. And this is regionals. Winners going to state. And these motherfuckers cheated. So they win. And like they had put a fence around kind of like the track to keep people off the track because had an indoor track. But the fence had these little pieces of wood in them to stabilize the fence. Man, the niggas from Benton Harbor got those refs. They chased them in the corner and like they took the sticks off the fence and they was beating the shit out of them. And I was like on the stairs watching these niggas just stomp the ref. They deserved it. They did deserve it because, you know, it's some foul-ass refs. I mean, it's like, you know, like you cheat and then you think you ain't supposed to get this. This came from cheating, all right? I don't even know the story, but for them to do this, this referee had to do some kind of cheating. Look at him. They ain't fucking with him. You see that? This brother standing there, they ain't fucking with him. So he must have called a decent game. But you get these cheating-ass fucking refs. And they deserve their ass whooped. But, you know, so it looks like they're going to change the laws. But, I mean, y'all been to some games. Y'all been to games where you see these high school motherfuckers cheating like shit. And they deserve the ass whooping they get. Because they think that nothing can happen to them. Like, I'm 25 years. Now, one time, this is the only time I'll say that I called a bogus call. I back one of my refs. The motherfucker kicked the field goal. The shit looked missed to me, but this nigga was standing under there and he said the shit went in. I don't think it did, but he said it went good, so I was like, okay. But it wasn't that big a deal. The team still won. That's the only time I would say that I was partial to a game. I just backed my guy. And so it's a lot of cheating ass refs that deserve their ass beat. I'm going to say that. They deserve it. Now, not over the Little League games. That's the foulest shit. But when you cheat, and this is what you have to understand. A lot of those refs are hired over and over again because they do cheat for you. That they you know, you put in a request and they accept you. Like if you're an association, your association puts in a request, or you're an independent contract, don't work with the association, you apply at the school. So if the school is used to cheating for you, if you are known to cheat for the school, they're gonna keep hiring you over and over again. That is how it works. I will say that. Like it was one team, and what they would do, that game I wasn't the white hat. I was the umpire. and the umpire on the other side. So I'm in the middle of the defense. They ran an offensive play where they was using me as a pick. They was using me as a pick. They would run the guy at me, and then the defender had to get between me and that dude. So I had to keep switching my position. Because like, fuck you, you're not going to use me as a pick again. So I kept switching my position so they couldn't use me as a pick. But, I feel both ways about the way it goes.
There are almost 1,000 incidents of interference every year in the state.
We have to do something.
Okay, wait a minute. Now, did you notice that? They whooping the European that was probably cheating. They ain't fucking with his brother. So he's probably making good calls. This European was cheating, so they stomped him out. He deserved it. They stomped him out because he was cheating. We don't only get mad when they cheat, but let's go.
Year in the state.
We have to do something. This is pathetic. And, you know, even if we got 200 or 100, that's terrible.
Representative Hewitt is also a referee, and he says officials can handle the common criticisms aimed their way, but worse forms of harassment are common enough to be partly responsible for the Minnesota State Referee Committee losing 60% of all new referees within a year.
There are multiple reasons why, but I do know that anecdotally at least, there are refs who tell me.
Okay, let's look at what we just saw. I just talked about this shit. I would never not be aware. This nigga's not aware. How? It's like my head is always on a swivel. I don't give a fuck what I'm doing. My head is always on a swivel. This nigga's like, his head is not on a swivel. And look at this.
60%.
Do you know how many niggas I elbowed and forearmed out the way? Do you understand? Let me tell you. You know how many people I forearmed and knocked down because of that kind of shit right there? Like people would run at me and I would literally forearm shiver them out the way, push them out the way. So yeah, this could never happen. I watched the dude get hurt on purpose so he could get the disability. He got hurt on purpose. He got in the player's way and the players landed on him, broke his leg. He was able to get disability. But I would never, you know, again, the ref is cheating. So they got back at him for cheating.
Referees within a year.
There are multiple reasons why, but I do know that anecdotally at least.
You know, they ain't never said nothing about cheating.
There are refs who tell me it's just not worth the hassle.
Don't be cheating ass refs and you won't have no problems.
And that's frustrating.
The funniest thing somebody ever called me, though, they called me a happy-go-lucky motherfucker. That is the funniest thing somebody ever said to me. You're like, you happy-go-lucky motherfucker. That shit was funny as fuck. So that's why you get your ass whooped for fucking cheating. This is the worst I got cheated in all my life. We're playing Benton Harbor. They rank #1 in the state. I score. I press the inbounder. The inbounder throws the ball in. I steal it. I take one dribble, I shoot, I make it. On the way down, the dude pushed me after I made the basket. The referees go over to the table, take my basket away. The dude pushed me after I made the basket. We had it on videotape. Took it away, and I missed the one-on-one to win the game. But I had already made the basket. The guy pushed me. He pushed me after I made the basket. So there's no way the basket wasn't good. But again, it was at Benton Harbor. They'd have beat the fuck out the refs. So, but that just shows you. I've never cheated children, you know. And they deserve, you know, that's something they don't talk about in this article. Some refs deserve their ass whooped because they cheat so bad. And we see that in college. We see that all over. Damn, who's this nigga? Let's see. It's funny. We don't even know about motherfuckers. Who is this nigga? Let's see who this nigga is. I don't know nothing about this nigga. They say he is America's most wanted fugitive captured. Okay, let's find out who this big head nigga tell us is the most wanted person in America. Tell us, big head nigga. You ain't got no neck.
After years of searching, a man featured on America's Most Wanted.
I don't know if I would wear a shirt and tie if I didn't have a neck, but let's go.
Has been arrested. Davey Albaron was wanted in Florida for sexual battery of a child under 12. We covered this story here on The Factor back in 2022 when Albaron's daughters, Anna and Yanari, were still looking to bring him to justice. Before tipping off police, the sisters had been using TikTok, the social media platform, to bring awareness to the nationwide manhunt. Police were able to find Albaron hiding in a shed behind a house after his daughter sent a tip about the location of his cell phone. Joining us to talk about it, social media expert Karen Diamond. Karen, glad to have you here on The Factor Uncensored. This is we always talk about the foolishness, the negativity, the bad things with social media.
Right.
This is something good.
We talk about the dark side of social media. We're on the good side of it today, and victory can be claimed for those daughters.
She's kind of thick.
Of that evil man, because their long fought journey to track him down and catch him.
Tell us how evil he was. Tell us.
Was successful because of TikTok and the momentum that TikTok gave them.
And we're talking about individuals who did not give up. They were consistent with it.
Correct.
If they have a focus, if they have a plan, if they have a target, they do it more than once and just walk away from it like these ladies did.
Correct. And I think that the algorithm favors cases like this on TikTok. There's no other platform where you're going to get that much momentum, that many impressions, that much reach, that much visibility. This is the only platform where a lot of people that are seeking justice for crimes or following, hashtags like Talk Crime, they're really, really invested in these cases. And so it almost calls on the public to be a public servant of sorts and kind of.
I don't know. I want to know what the fuck he did to his daughters to make them go after this nigga so hard. But okay, let's go.
To rally together to find justice for these innocent
individuals. Find someone who is wanted for a crime.
Correct. And we've seen that as of late, where like if a crime takes place and it catches momentum on TikTok, then a lot of because so many people have covered it. Cell phone records. She was able to lean on the technology, and I think TikTok is a vessel for this type of information. Now, it's also a vessel for misinformation, and it's also a vessel for, the dark side of it. But in this case, and in similar, these two daughters were looking for their dad, who ran away after he was accused of molesting one of their 12-year-old kids. So he molested his own granddaughter, and then she came out and showed evidence.
Oh yeah, he needs to be all fucked up. He needs to be fucked up. I'm glad they told on his ass, weirdo motherfucker. This weirdo motherfucker needed to go down. Okay, let's finish the story out. Damn, he's a real weirdo.
The dad on TikTok, she showed a video where she was accusing him of molesting, her own daughter, his own granddaughter, and he subtly admitted to it. He didn't come out and say, "Oh yes, I did it," but it's in the video, and so then people have that evidence, and then they rally behind him because they rallied behind the girls because of that.
Yeah, the dad was fucked up. Well, good riddance to that motherfucker. Cut his nuts off in the jail. I know this guy. I know this girl. She started this thing where she's getting parents to sue TikTok for kids who were going and happy to, addicted to scrolling, depressed, don't want to leave the house. It was on the Post. I'm gonna say, like, I'm agree with you, but it's one part where that shit come from when they're making everybody stay at home. That's where that shit come from. That's when the world really got more addicted. Now, I was the kind of nigga, I ain't stay at home during them times. I was on the highway, I'm dating bitches, going out. Minnesota didn't seem to shit. Well, I guess a lot of niggas did because the highways wasn't filled. But that shit didn't interrupt me at all. I guess some of you niggas didn't do shit. Not me. That shit didn't exist to me. I was all up and down the roads. My wife was like, yeah, I just stayed here. We'd have just stayed here. No, the fuck I wasn't. So he deserved to get fucked up, and they caught him. Fuck him. He needs to be buried under the goddamn jail.
A proposed bill.
And I guess that is debauchery. But, you know, we had the murder up here, so, you know, the niggas is, I guess, taking it easy. They killed them cops, and they're like, well, we better lay low. We better lay low. Called the TikTok ruined my kid's life. Now they're suing. I'm with 50,000 parents. She bad too. 72%. It's way too sweet, but man, it tastes like better than fudge. Never really liked fudge, but man, I stick this shit in hot coffee. 72% is like perfect. Oh, I'm gonna see if I can show this house. A Texas warning on wild pigs threatening Minnesota. Well, I look at the wild pigs like this. Like, especially Texas. Y'all should be happy there's wild pigs in Texas. Because if they tear everything up, and remember, the purge, they attacked the Texas first. So if the purge goes and everything goes crazy, y'all got a lot of wild pigs to eat. No, pork ain't the greatest for niggas, but it's better than nothing, so you better keep them wild pigs going, because if the apocalypse comes and they want to poison everything, you can always go hunt wild pigs. And that makes you think, like, you know, back in the, you know, when the Europeans first came, it was plenty of stuff to go out there and hunt. So, wanted to put that out there. What time is it? Oh, I ain't been going too long. IMF pauses program after Alabama court rules virtual embryos are children. How long is this? Okay. Embryos are children. Yeah, kind of agree. Once you skate and it starts, the heart start beating. Like one dude made a thing, and I've talked about this many times, of being, you know, I am, what do I even say I am? I am one of the reincarnations. I don't know if that's even right, but I am like, part of me is the Monkey King. And if you can look up, if you don't know who the fuck the Monkey King is, Super Saiyan and Dragon Ball Z was kind of based off the Monkey King. But being born in the cave, but it was like, the thing is the heart, which is consciousness. Your consciousness starts as soon as your heart is developed. That's when consciousness starts. Now, when it's all put together, that's the second consciousness, but the initial consciousness is in your heart. That's the first thing that develops. You know, like if you that know children, they put and want to hear the heartbeat, boom, 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 you know. So you can be born out of the cave and not be the cave dwellers. Because there was a part of Europeans that dwelled in the cave. They wasn't born in the motherfuckers, but their tradition was to live up in the motherfuckers. And rightly so, because them cave bears was out there, and it was bears that could run fast as a horse. So you had to stay out their way. That's why you see most of them kind of cave bears killed while they was hibernating. That was the only way they got rid of them. Killed them while they was asleep. And I agree, there's diseases and shit from living in the caves, but it ain't all bad to be born from the caves. And I don't know if those individuals was born in the caves or not. That was just that's just the way they were. They wanted caves. That's why when you see Zuckerman or whatever, the Facebook dude living underground, they're used to the caves. What do they call it? A man cave. That's why them peoples got so mad when, you know, when what's his name, Irving was talking about the cave dwellers. And peoples got mad because he's knowing that's who they references to. Because these niggas knew nothing better. That was how their civilization. We need to run up there. However they got put on the earth, they had to run into the cave. So we don't know how they was put here. They just showed up about 3,500 years ago. That's why, you know, that history shit and Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar, we can't believe none of that shit. These Europeans ain't did shit. All they did was they sacrificed Alexander the Great so they could go down to Kemet. That's what happened. So they could go down to Kemet and start being taught culture. And we know, you know, the oldest pyramids are in America. The most pyramids are in America. And we know that the Olmec went around the world and gave that technology without giving up the sacred ball game. Because we see the pyramids and what they are. Well, what do you think they do with this stuff? Look up ley lines. This one chick I follow, and she's really cool. And she breaks down. Look up why the pyramids are social on certain ley lines, and look at the ley lines, the strongest ley lines, and look at the ley lines around the world. And the Europeans got something on it. The biggest pyramid in the world, Europeans got the oldest church that is in the Americas. Is on. They didn't even know what it was. The people hid it from the Europeans. The Europeans just thought it was a hill. They ain't even know it's a big pyramid that the people hid from them. They just now digging in this shit. And I've said before, this LADAR, that they're seeing where all the pyramids are. They're trying to bring what's up down. Because these are still amplifiers. That's why they're trying to find them. They're trying to cut into the technology that is above. You want to call it the God's technology? I don't know if it's all that. They came from monkeys. Hey, that's what they say. That's what they say. They say they come from monkeys. That ain't everybody. That's what the European tells you. And that goes into the, a little bit of the Anunnaki shit and that kind of shit. That goes into a little bit of that. Take me from this crazy place. I'm sick and tired of the rat race. Superman, Batman going all night. Playing one-on-one with a meteorite. It's out of sight. It's out of sight. It's out of sight. It's gone. Oh, okay. I found Goofy Dude again. Let's hear him speak. He got more to say. I don't think it's about a clone, but let's see what he got to say. Oh, do I wear him? I don't have it turned off. So, here we go. Okay, let's hear it again.
Press. That's what goes on. All press. That's what goes on. Stop playing on me. Everybody I'm around, nothing to press. Always pressure. He stand for things I stand for. That's what goes on. DOD, Deaf and Dirty. You gotta look it up.
Who does this? Who ain't got nothing left but a fiend? He high on, I would guess, speedballing. Because only a fiend does this. It makes you think like, okay, you got all this, but you need that little bit of weed. I mean, this is really abnormal behavior. You got all this on and you ain't got a full blunt and you worried about this little piece. This all you brought to the interview was that little piece? So he's a character and he's not believable and he can't talk. This nigga can't talk. This is a funny nigga here.
But look, get in there. You get in there, look up Deaf and Dirty. That's what goes on. Son died.
See, he said he quantified, but this is a fiend.
So he been kind of like laid back. That's what goes on. But you feel the same way I feel. I'm trying to get him back outside and see. That's what I'm going to tell him, let's go.
What was he like before?
Got to go internet.
Okay, this is a weirdo. This is a weirdo, but he said he was able to buy a clone. So I'm going to see where I can buy me a clone. Where can I get a clone from, y'all? Motherfucker look like me. Oh, it's more of this goofy nigga. Unk 607. Yeah, this nigga's goofy. He's a goofy. Oh, excuse me. He sounded like he's from Chicago, but I think he's from St. Louis, which ain't far from Chicago, but I don't know. St. Louis, Chicago got niggas that's, you got Northwestern in Chicago. So it's most Chicago dudes, other than saying folk, on Kia, you know, it's like quantifying. Why you got to quantify? These niggas think if you don't quantify about some dead ancestor, that's not believable. On folk, on Kai, on, you know, that is the, that I don't understand them niggas, you know. Oh, somebody had the Duke of Tears on. What does it say? How to use discernment to avoid being manipulated by propaganda with the Duke of Tears. Now, I've told you before who this nigga is. And that's what let me down about Turtle Gang. He had this nigga on. Because when I first found out about this nigga, must have been 17. I'm calling all around about this nigga. Talk to Turtle Gang. He's like, all I know is this nigga was up here. He left. He in Florida. So, Pa, what is his name? Down in Louisiana. Cheeto Pa. I called this nigga up. I'm like, what's up with this nigga? He's like, oh, shit. Okay. Let me call my cousin. So he calls the Grand Sheik Moore in Miami, where this nigga's from. And if you looked at a lot of his older stuff, he's in this park. Dude's like, man, he ain't in the neighborhoods. He ain't no more with us. He ain't coming to the temple. He said he lived with them peoples. See, he's like, you see that park he make his videos? That's them people's park. He over there with them peoples. And this the same nigga that told on my talk show. All right. It was, you know, it was the nigga that came on there. This nigga is so handicapped that he is on there with somebody else typing. He said he made $600 a month. This nigga said he got paid. He'll do pay plans on getting the birth certificate, you know, all that bullshit, paperwork. It was fraud, but legal fraud. Legal fraud. So that's who the Duke of Tears. I had him on twice. I didn't know. And I felt bad. Me and my brother fell out about this shit. We didn't talk for a couple years over this shit. Because I felt that dude, you know, used me to cheat people. And what he did was cheating people. Again, you can look and say, well, it's the people's responsibility to know better. Well, sometimes you don't. Sometimes people can be convinced. It's a nigga in this thing that cheated me. But I could have, you know, and again, I thought it was real business, but he cheated me. And he's on another station. He's on somebody else's station. So it makes me think, because I know that nigga and another nigga, I was trying to give him some crystals or sell some crystals. And it was some kind of, and I'm going to say this about it. It was some kind of, what do you call it? How do you do it? How do you send money to Africa and South America? It's that kind of deal where you go to the supermarket or, you know, and you can, what is it called? It's a MoneyGram, like a MoneyGram. And they had some kind of MoneyGram scam. And nigga, if you listen, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was a MoneyGram. No, it was what is it called? What was it called? But it's a way you used to send telegrams, but now you can send money through them. So they had some kind of scam going. Because two niggas approached, they both wrote me, well, send it through this way. And, you know, trade lines, we know all kind of scams. The motherfuckers been having all kind of scams, you know, trade line scams. So, well, I'm just saying that he can't deny that. My brother's a witness. I'm on my talk show, and I haven't been on my talk show in a while. But a lot of that was kind of erased. But yeah, it was on my talk show. So and he can't deny that the nigga met me before, been on my show twice. Not once, but twice. And I felt bad because I wasn't in on the scam, because everything he talked about, you could do for free yourself. You didn't have to pay him $600 to do it. You could get this birth certificate do it yourself. You didn't need this nigga to do it. And I told PNN, I told him that shit years ago. That was a couple years ago. He's like, what? This nigga's doing paperwork?
Yeah, he was doing paperwork, scamming people. And scamming people that is on a fixed income. Fixed income. So, not to say that some of the stuff, this history he got, and then he's a Pan-African, so keep that in mind. Well, you know, Massa Mesa brother tried to come to America. Yeah, there's no proof that he made it. Not in them ships. There's no way he could have made it to America in them ships. Dan Calloway tells you, there's no way he could have made it the route he took. So the nigga didn't come to America. None of them, the omens show you they took the world tree everywhere. Everywhere. And when you see pyramids, you know the omen or Olmec or Omeka Kabaza, which only means the rubber people. You know they was there. All the pyramids come from them. Their technology. That's a good point. That is a good point. I have to make a show about that one day. Some of this shit is just too funny. It's like we look at the drug things and BMF, you know, and that's one thing you have to admire about Snowfall. They tell you he was an agent. Snowfall shows you that Saint was an agent from the very beginning. Learn from that. Big Meech, all them niggas, Rick Ross, all them niggas is agents. And they got so many people looking up to him and want to, hey, the police, hey, when they drop cocaine in the neighborhood, you don't think that they didn't pick out certain people? Like when you watch Kill the Messenger, when Michael White, the dude who died of heroin, got the scar across his face, Omar. And he's like, what do you mean he told on me? There's no way he told on me. This nigga gave me the shit. It's like, well, the guy who gave you the shit he worked for the feds. It's like, what do you mean he worked for the feds? Well, he worked for the feds and his boss was Kill the Messenger is beautiful. And I'm just lucky that I've been saying this since that shit came out in the early 80s. I caught that. I caught all of it. I read his paper. I had one of the papers. I watched remember, they did a town hall meeting and the CIA director resigned because it's like, how the fuck you bring this shit now? But see, people didn't get into, look at what you did to the Midwest. And how many times do I got to say the Midwest is what won World War II? Nowhere else. Not nowhere else in the rest of the country, the Midwest won World War II. There's no way you can get around that. And look at how they repaid the people. Look at how they repaid the people. It was 4 years of no production other than the U.S. Army. That's the only production was there. Again, a great way to get you out of depression. Plenty of jobs, plenty of paychecks when there wasn't no money before. And look at how they repay them. Not even 20 years. Not even 20 years. And they start shutting the shit down in the late 70s, early 80s. And replaced everything with crack. And so, you know, it's a matter of the same thing they did after Jim Crow. No, let me take that away. The same thing they did after the Civil War. When the Jim Crow started, it's the same way. Same way. We start going after low-level people because we can arrest them. Then we pass a law. If it's crack, it's double the sentence. And then if you're in Michigan, if you get over 300 grams, you get life for a nonviolent crime. And this is the way they broke up a lot of the family. Those of you that are that age, born in the 80s and 90s. How many of you, parents got arrested? You knew people that was crack addicts? Like they say, people wasn't dying like they died from fentanyl. The crackheads smoke crack. Live forever. Strong as fuck. Can carry a refrigerator down the stairs, down the street, with it strapped on their back. But look at what it did to the family. And that's why, you got to look at a movie, Claudine. And what Claudine is telling you. You can have as many babies as you want. Keep the cycle going. The government going to take care of you. Just keep the man out the house. And like you said, Multiplicity. That's a great movie about clones. Is Multiplicity with Michael Keaton. That's a great movie. So thank you. I saw that earlier. Thank you for adding that. And that's what we still live in. You know, they want to take a lot of this bullshit away. You know, these colleges saying it's unfair. You know, let these niggas in these colleges is unfair. But what happened before the laws put in? You wouldn't let the niggas in. And, you know, the complicity of all the businesses and the government of saying you got to go to college. You tell people you got to go to college, but yet you take out the automotive programs. You take out the plumbing programs of high schools. You take out the electrician programs in high schools. All those were still going. I mean, who are the most educated people in America? It's the black woman. On average, the most educated people in America are chicks. And they're the ones that owe the most debt is the black women. They're the most educated and they have the highest amount of debt at the same time. And so they're trying to still push away this debt relief. But the government and all these businesses was complicit. Now they starting to pass laws. The state of Minnesota say, a lot of these jobs, y'all bullshit. You don't need college degrees. That's why it's funny, I don't work, but I look to see if it's little bitty jobs I want to do. And I'm looking at jobs that say college degree, and it's so funny. It's like, yeah, you don't need a college degree for this. Because of my 62, I'll be 63 in June, my 62 years of life, any job you go to, they got to train you how to do it. Now, you can get a 2-year accounting degree and pretty much know most accounting systems. So you don't have to go all this. You don't have to get a MBA, to know accounting systems. Once you've had the experience, you can carry it on. So, that's what's fucked up about our government and what the government did against the people. Again, it was a scam. College loans was a scam. They couldn't wait to give you a loan. That's why I ain't got no college debt. They paid for all my shit. That's, when I go to registration, the shit's like paid for. We had to fight to get cards. Then once we got all the cards from the classes, we went up and my shit is saying paid for. We didn't have to pay shit. Room and board is all paid for. Matter of fact, by the time we registered for school, I had been living there for almost a month. So when I moved there and played football, they wasn't no registration, nothing. Just move in. This is your dorm room. This is where you live. We go to practice every day. Then, when it comes time to register for school, you see we're grant and aid. That's what it's called, grant and aid. That's what it used to be called, grant and aid. That was your scholarship. And I think my first year was $700-800 out of state. I should have graduated from A&T, but I didn't really care. I was working, making money. It's like, why go back? I know what I can do. Let me find him because I got to piss. I have to piss, and I'm going to show the rest of his stuff because I don't think Oh, he got some new stuff. No, that's not new. I'll finish. Okay. I'll go into his stuff. I'll play a little bit of him. I think we were right here. Let him chop for a minute while I go pee.
Their followers feel that way. What Tariq has to his credit is he's an incredibly funny man. And I still watch him, and when he roasts people, it still very much makes me laugh. But he is incredibly suspect with his fear of the Zionist question, and it just shows. And even with some of the things that we've seen from the Africa Diaspora News Channel, I've noticed these people, they get bigger and they move further to the right, or there's certain subjects they won't speak on. It's because they're worried about the money. I guess I get them as capitalists, but if you look at the anti-immigration rhetoric coming from these subsets of the black community, and they're subsets, keep that in mind also, they sound very much like Fox News. I wonder if they realized what they're becoming that way. It's very obvious. I remember when Phil from Advise started talking about cut them all off, talking about the people on welfare. Hey, I threw the statistics up there that most of the people that they're on welfare from the Black community they're women that have children with disabilities. And Phil's talking about our people do better when they struggle and when they suffer. Sounds just like a pale racist. So he lost his way. I have ceased to have any respect for him whatsoever. And I still got the video. It's funny, my channel got taken down right around that same time too, when I did the Coon of the Century video. So anyone that is too afraid to talk about reparations, you cannot trust. And they certainly do not have our best interest in mind. And I said, you have to look at people as if anyone that you make a political or any kind of alliance with, you have to look at how they deal with their enemies. See, and that's why everybody, from the redneck to the Latino to the Black to everyone, needs to look at what's happening in Palestine right now. And we have to look at how the Zionists treats their enemies, because those same Zionists are actively seeking legislation to stop your right to boycott them for the genocide that they're committing. They move so grimy, it's disgusting. And yet the nation's allowed it to happen. Freeing up the Palestinians. So, and I don't even think most of their followers feel that way. What something down here for us. See, slow-mo?
Yeah, this is a book that's worth getting. The Invention of the Jewish People. This is worth knowing. Also, bloodletting. God, what is it called? I'm old man. But this is the invention of the Jewish folks. Them peoples ain't really them peoples. So, I mean, somebody broke down who the Palestinians or why they were. The Palestinians were the original people there. They're the only things left there of the people. See, what they try to tell you is some of the gypsies that went into Europe was them peoples. A lot of gypsies was from India, but the gypsies basically were them peoples. But it wasn't Germans. It wasn't Polish. Netanyahu is Polish. But yet he tells you that all these Polish people, that Ashkenazis, they got something to do. They came from those areas. They didn't. They was no different than Sammy Davis Jr. when he became them peoples. The same thing. Same thing. So them peoples ain't who they say they are. And, they are, with Americans' help, with Americans' help, is genocide going on with American bombs. And don't think Americans is already bombing people over there. They taking down drones. I don't know if y'all follow it or not, but they're fighting war over there. Backing them peoples. Backing the peoples that are attacking Israel, because again, Hamas is had enough. And that's what they do all over the world. They back people into a corner so the people have to fight like Wolverines. Wolverine fights best when it's backed into a corner. And that's what they've done to the people in Palestine. And then when they want to attack people that are supplying Palestine, we got the U.S. out in the Suez Canal knocking down drones, knocking down missiles on them, trying to stop these people from being supplied. So, this is what we're facing. This is what the war is. You have relatives, friends, neighbors that are fighting a war over there. The U.S. Army and the Brits, again, these are the major backers of them peoples. We are, them peoples is their base camp there. See, I got fooled by, I think it was General Clark that tried to say that the reason why we're in Afghanistan because we need a base over there in the Middle East.
The base has always been Israel. The base has always been Israel. And as I said before, during COVID, we gave each man and woman and child 50 million. They give the average one of you 1,200. And then another time they gave you about what, 500, maybe more if you got children. The average amount of COVID money that American taxpayers gave to them peoples was 50 million per person. You can look it up. 50 million per person of your taxpayer money, and they want to say the debt ceiling. What is the debt? And I know friends of mine in government, they always say, well, you know, the allowed in money is the allowed in money. The allowed in money is still taxpayer money. It's still taxpayer money. So I don't give a fuck where it's allowed it to. Fuck that to say the money is allowed it to some military around the world. Why? And like, if you look at why DC was picked, and we was talking about ley lines, the strongest ley lines in this country is two places. Two places. We have the Black Hills, and we have DC. And that's why they put their pentagram, they put their big dick in the air, because that's amplifying their power. As I said before, Civil War was nothing about, the South was not mad at the North. That's the lie they tell you. And that's how the lie that Lincoln had to tell people. They went to war only against DC. They did not go to war against the North. The North had to spin it and say, hey, we need help. Because they went to war against DC, not against Michigan, not against Wisconsin, not against Illinois, not against Vermont. DC by itself. That's who they went to war against. And just like the propaganda they did in World War II, they did the same propaganda. Why would a person in Alabama that's working the field, a European sharecropper, why would he care? Why would he care about what the fuck went on in Hawaii? Why? Place you'll probably never go unless you get shipped there. Why? But that's the propaganda they did. They allowed Pearl Harbor to get attacked. They knew about it. They encouraged it. They encouraged them to attack them. When they did the oil embargo against them, they were saying, come attack us. They put the aircraft carriers out the way. They let them attack the rest of the shit. They knew that as long as they had them aircraft carriers, that they could still win the war. So they let what happened happen to Pearl Harbor, and they fooled the rest of the country with propaganda. I encourage you to find the movie Sarajevo, and you'll see the same thing that the killing of Archduke Ferdinand, which he had to be the stupidest, arrogant nigga in the world. You go through a parade and the niggas try to blow you up, and you're so arrogant that you go back the same way. You let the people take you back the same way. And the nigga just happens to be sitting, you go to the restaurant where the nigga's at. So he could shoot and kill you and your wife after they done tried to blow you up. He didn't say, bring troops in and protect me. No, this nigga was so vain. And it was nothing more than, again, cousins fighting. That's why, The Last Kingsman breaks down. It's just cousins fighting. Cousins let their cousin get, let them peoples. The Bolsheviks was them peoples. They try to tell you that now the Orthodox Church, no. Russia's them people's country. Communism comes from them peoples. So don't think that China ain't free of them peoples. They do communism, so they got them peoples telling them what to do. Communism comes from them peoples. Marx, Engert. That's where communism comes from. It comes from them peoples. The Bolsheviks killed the Catholic Tsar, right? That's who was in control, was the Catholics, was in control of Russia. And you had all these Jewish faith folks, and Lenin got something like $10 million. Watch Trotsky. If you can find a Trotsky movie, he got $10 million to overthrow them. And his army was Jewish faith people. That's why when Hitler goes into the Soviet Union, Hitler starts killing Jewish folk, Jewish faith people. This is the first people he started killing. The Bolsheviks. He started fighting Bolsheviks. They try to tell you, he's slaughtering. No, these is Bolsheviks who he started killing. And then we can go deeper. Hitler, if you can find some of the, what are they called? Diaries of some of them German soldiers, and they'll tell you what they was fighting. They tell you they fighting fucking demons. They wasn't even fighting humans. Just get into the diaries. Don't take my word for it. Look at some of them diaries when they first started fighting them motherfuckers in Russia or Soviet Union. And they'll tell you who they was killing. And then people try to spin it, but they was telling you they was fighting demons. So that tells you where demons come from. And they got as the Gipper says, they got to stuff Lenin. You can go see Lenin today. They stuffed him so you can still go see him. They ain't stuffed Stalin, though. And Stalin, what did Stalin do? Stalin tried to kill all the Christians. He tried to kill all the Christians. He killed a bunch of them. He starved them out. And you got Hoover that had to go over there. That Stalin let it come in and feed the Christians. Read some of that work. I mean, lice was so bad for them people. Lice was on the wallpaper like 2-3 inches thick, lice. And if you live around lice like that, you can get it can kill you though. You can get a disease from lice that will kill you. But that's what Stalin did. He tried to kill all the Christians, starve them to death. And the Americans had to come in and bring food. And American had to come in and grow crops so these people could be successful and not starve to death. But that's what Stalin tried to do to all the Christians. He tried to starve them to death. So, Walter, you better off talking about wet cloth, dipping water on you, switching from hot and cold. I think that's in Stranger Things where they're fighting demons. Well, just look up some of the diaries of the Russian or the German soldiers, and they'll tell you what they was fighting. They'll tell you that it wasn't fighting people when they first went into Russia. They wasn't fighting people. So that's you can find that for yourself. Let me see. I saw some shit about what they say. They called it flat moon. We only see one side of the moon, and they tell you that the Japanese or Chinese was able to land something on the other side of the moon. And those of you that study Marduk, they tell you that his base, he had 2 bases. He had one base on the moon, and he had one base on Mars. That's what they try to tell you. And don't forget, this is the country that said that they could do a phone call to space. It's 68, 69. These motherfuckers go up there. They tell you they can do a phone call to space. We can patch in the radios, and the radio, you call us and we can patch the radio in. So that technology didn't exist. So that's why all that moon shit is bullshit. And I still say, for those of you that study that Tartaria shit, it's racist. It's trying to make Europeans be ancient. And you niggas that support that shit, you missed that point. It is racism. It is a way to make Europeans ancient. That's all Tartaria is. And it's interesting that you niggas don't do your full research that shows that everybody who pushed that shit are fucking racists. Because that's the only way they can show they're ancient. They got to make up some shit. Well, we were here before and they destroyed us, so we had to come back. What sense does that make? I guess it's saying that the Europeans got destroyed before, and then they was able to come back some kind of way and go into America and do all their virus. Because what do they say in the Matrix? What is a virus? Something that destroys its home. Remember in the Matrix 1? When they break down, they talking about Europeans. They ain't really talking about melanated people. when they say, you know, who comes into a country and kills all the natural resources for your future? And he says a virus. Only a virus does that. So he's talking about Europeans in Matrix 1, Smith, because that's what they do. They don't care about natural resources. I mean, the ground, you know, my research shows that the ground has been dead since the 70s. That's where GMAs come from. They had to create new seeds that would grow in this dead dirt. The 70s ain't that far from the Dust Bowl. Remember the Dust Bowl? Where they killed, you know, they turned all this good land into sand. And I've said many times, the original trees, I mean, this was tree world. Make no doubt about it. This was tree world. Trees went up into space at one time. And it seems like the melanated people and the original people of the planet had no problem with these trees. But it does seem like it's a certain element there that wanted to destroy the trees. And they won the war. They destroyed the trees. They brought the people from the trees, well, the tree beings down on Earth. And those was the original giants. When they came out of them trees, they didn't realize how big the people were. And the people that lived in the atmosphere, they've never changed. That's what they call the gods, the people that live just in the atmosphere. They were the original people that was around this thing. They can make solid things out of just the liquid that comes from the earth. And that's why the oil is never going away. They'll never use the oil. It's not from fossil fuels. Just like water. The water will never run away. Because what happens, the deeper they dig, the more water they find. Remember they used to try to tell you, you know, you go to China, you dig through the earth? Do you remember when phones were still a thing in the 90s before cell phones? You could sometimes have calls merged from different areas and you could hear different going on. Yeah, I talked about that before. My grandparents, my great-grandparents my great-grandfather was the first melanated person in West Michigan to have a car. And I think we got a curse from that. I'm pretty sure that someone cursed him. But we were the first people to have a car. They were the first people to have indoor toilet. And they were the first people to start the party line. And so the original party line was my family. You know, it was my family. It was like my grandfather, his nephews. That was the original party line. And so I can still remember going to my great-grandparents' house and we could still listen to the people. I don't remember, like my older cousins would like get on the phone when my grandparents was fucking around going out the house or something. And they would get on the phone and listen to people from the party line. When I was young, they'd crack up because you could hear the party line means, you know, if you wasn't talking, but other people that had the party line, they could click it and listen to you. That's how the old phones worked. And so that was still a thing. The old party lines was when I was a child. Matter of fact, I was like a little older and would go to like where my family lived in the country and some of them niggas still had party lines. So we could just, it was a thing to just stay on the phone and listen to motherfuckers. Now where I live, we didn't really have that. We had it where you didn't really need to know your whole number. If you lived into certain part of the cities, like where my dad lived, it was called Fireside. So that meant automatically 344. So I didn't have to, you know, most of the time, like my aunt's number, all I had to remember was Fireside, which automatically meant 344. And I had to remember the last numbers. 6890, I think was my aunt's number. I think it was 344-6890. That's some old shit there because they moved out of that house. They probably kept that number when they moved. But that was my aunt's number, 344-6890. Fireside. And so you only needed 4 numbers. You know, you didn't even need to know. If you lived in 344, you automatically knew, you know. Somebody would say Fireside. It meant 344. So yeah, it's that's been going on for a while. And this thing with Trump is gonna really get nasty. You got these dirty people gonna pull out all the dirty tricks. So we're gonna see a lot of political dirty tricks, but we're seeing a lot of
I don't know. I don't know. This is going to be different, y'all. It's a doggy dog world. Huh, how many Quicksand? Quicksand had 211 million views. A lot of people say he was a plant because he wasn't from, he's not from that part of North Carolina. But Quicksand, 3 years ago, 211 million views. He probably made about 900,000 off that. I hope that I'm gonna tell you some funny shit. This nigga's name is Vince Staples. He has a Netflix series. It's kind of funny. I don't know, it's kind of slow, but it's funny. It's kind of funny. He puts like he has a thing where his boys robbed a bank and he's in there trying to get a loan. And he's talking to the niggas and the niggas is talking like nothing, like it's just funny. I don't know. It's kind of clever the way he does it. So watch that nigga. That nigga's name is Vince Staples. He's kind of funny. And I just got done watching Killer, what's that shit called? Killer, I said that shit earlier. Paradox. It's a MAGA anime out of webinar. What did my son put? What did he put? He's the expert on anime. What did this nigga put? What did he give me? Yeah, so it's he called it it's the best of a webtoon, which is most time Korean manga. So Korean manga. So it's pretty good. It's kind of slow, but it gets good. It's good because it's called Killer Paradox. So I think it's pretty good. Oh, this nigga had Johnny Manziel on. Shay had Johnny Manziel on. Okay. But I guess, I watched the Run DMC. You better know. Yeah, Jam Master Jay was definitely a sacrifice. Yeah, it was definitely a sacrifice. There's no way you can look at it as like all their success. Jam Master Jay was definitely a sacrifice. This is my song. I agree. But I love this. I loved it because, it was just those cats is a few years younger than me. And I can remember when Sucker MC came out. That shit was pretty hard. Sucker MC was pretty hard, I must admit. Johnny Football was on it. Yeah, I didn't see that one. I just was strolling. But yeah, Sucker MC is pretty hard. I did dig that. I mean, it was interesting, I was doing my own blending and shit. And this is my song. Let me see. I gotta find my song. I be forgetting about it. Okay. And I haven't listened to Kanye West. That's gonna be tomorrow. I'll listen to all his shit tomorrow while I move around. What is this? Simo. What's this nigga's name? J-I-D? Simo, Jid, and Beats. What's this nigga name? Beats. Bugatti. Somebody names his name Bugatti. Yeah, let's find that. That's it. Add the playlist. There you go. I like this song. It's an older song, but I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, a grease gun. What is the RN45? It's a grease gun. Grease gun was shooting 40. It was a machine gun that would shoot 45s at a nigga during the Vietnam War. Grease gun is shooting through concrete. And you see every now and then, but you didn't see it a lot. Like in World War II, some niggas was out there with Thompsons. A lot of people didn't have the M14s. They had Thompsons. Like Audie Murphy. Watch Audie Murphy from Here to Eternity. This nigga's on the back of a burning tank. And he's got that 50 caliber and he's fucking them up. He's fucking them Nazis up. On back of a burning tank. He's the most decorated officer in the history of officers. Watch that From Here to Eternity. Check that shit out. Audie Murphy playing himself. Playing himself. Like Ali. You know, Ali got to play himself. They say it's funny. Let me see. CNN right here says, let's listen to it.
Hip-hop legend Jam Master Jay, a case more than 2 decades in the making, going unsolved since his shocking killing in 2002. Jam Master Jay was part of the collectively legendary group Run DMC. They were the definition of hip-hop and...
What's this? Okay. He was allegedly killed over a drug deal. Allegedly killed.
Jam Master Jay, whose real name was Jason Mizell, was the center of it. Court documents, Jam Master Jay had been involved in transporting kilogram quantities of cocaine between 1996 and 2002.
And why would he need to? Like, we know that the music started drying up. They wasn't going around. He's supposed to be producers. But why did he need a key? You know? Why did he still need a key in 2002? 2002, I wasn't even fucking with cocaine no more. It was like, I didn't need to. But why did that nigga need to? He had the world. Damn. Oh man, this nigga's that broke? Adrian Peterson selling off NFL trophies, other memorabilia, and massive real estate. This nigga's broke. It's been public knowledge that former running back has been in serious financial trouble the past. He squandered a big chunk of his cash on elaborate things as his insane 30th birthday party, which featured ice sculpture, camel, snake charmers, and even appearance by Jamie Foxx. He had to pay Jamie to come to his birthday. Is in serious trouble, and he's selling off many different personal items, including his MVP trophy, Rookie of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, and much more. Blah, blah, blah. So let's see. Let's see what the fuck this niggas is selling. One of his jerseys. Okay. That he's selling a jersey. Okay. And where's the rest of it? He's selling that painting. Oh, he's selling his shoes. Okay. What else? I don't see any other. Okay, here's a jersey here. Here's a jersey. I don't see no trophies. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, the nigga was silly. Fucked his money up. It's easy to say niggas is drug dealers. It wasn't. They were shamed and sacrificed. That's a good point. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Trying to see if it's more shit of Adrian Peterson's. But yeah, definitely. It's easy to say that drugs killed him instead of saying that he was sacrificed. I agree. Where's Adrian Peterson's stuff? Just shows this stupid ass jersey. You never heard any dirt about Jam Master Jay. Think about it, how broke and he was producing Onyx. Yeah, exactly. He had kind of went into the second phase of his career. And so, I don't know. Kind of hard to... Okay, this jersey is signed by Adrian Peterson. $65 US bid. You can probably get it. This bullshit jersey here is $65. So, signed by Adrian. Where's the other one? Where's more Adrian shit? Here's another one. I don't want to subscribe. No, thank you. Fuck you. Yo, this other one, signed by him. So he's desperate. That child support don't stop. Nigga, you made over $100 million. How are you broke? But they say he got about 30 children. Man, they got a bunch of dress shoes and shit. Size 12. Let me see any dress shoes my size. Any gators in there? Here's a pair of gators. What size is these gators? No, not steak skin. Gator skins. Oh, I like these. What size are they? What size are these? What size? I like these. These are shiny. Who is this? selling his slippers. This is one broke nigga, boy. He's selling his slippers and shit. What size is this? Why don't they say the size? Niggas is bidding on this bullshit. Look, 16 bids. The high bid is only $42. Nobody wants these motherfuckers. What size, nigga? Damn. Oh, he wear 11. Oh, damn. He only wear 11 and a half. So maybe all this shit is just niggas. Let's see. All these dress shoes is his and shit. Broke nigga, damn. These 11 and a halves, if they 11 and a half, they his. Don't say the size. Damn, this nigga's down bad. This nigga's selling his dress shoes. This snakeskin his. Let's see, if they're 11 and a half, they his. 11s, they his. This is one broke nigga, boy. Probably got his drawers. All the great. Goddamn, you selling your blazer? This nigga is selling his blazer. This wrinkled ass blazer. $3. Somebody wanted for $3. What size is this motherfucker? Adrian Peterson. Men's clothing. White button down blazer. Made for Adrian Peterson. God damn, this nigga's broke. I'm not surprised they don't show his drawers. Look at these motherfuckers. What is these? 12. Dress shoes. What's the highest bid? Nobody wants these motherfuckers. Damn, Adrian. This is all his bullshit. Adrian Peterson shirts. God damn, this is a broke nigga. You selling these old wrinkled ass shirts? This is his shit, y'all. This nigga is selling his pants. God damn, nigga. These is his jeans, 34, 36s. Raw jeans. Hey, I got Adrian Peterson. Why there be some draws in this motherfucker? God damn, Adrian. What was you trying to get here? True religion. Oh, this nigga is broke. God damn, how do you fuck up that much money? Stellas. What the fuck is Stellas? This is some... Who would want this ugly shit? $7. 4 bids. Maybe somebody is it 4. This nigga is selling everything. This is mama shirt. Embroidered size 44. With some slippers. With slippers. This is what the motherfucker... You get some slippers with this shit. I guess if you wanted to play... What was Will Smith? Alibaba and shit. The genie in the lamp. This nigga's got some... I mean, this nigga's like broke. Look at this shit. He probably going to Prince concert or something, selling this shit. What size is this? It don't really say. Size 40. Nah, this ain't his shit. He's bigger than 40. Hell, I don't know how big this nigga is. Look at this shit. Tell this shit been bundled up. Who made this shit? Plaid blazer made for Adrian Peterson. Made for Adrian Peterson. This is some ugly shit. God damn, Adrian, you's a broke ass nigga, man. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. You just got in your junk and said, give me $5 for it. Armani, it's Armani. Nobody wants it. Nobody gives a fuck about Armani. God damn. This is one broke ass nigga who got ugly ass style. What is this? Prince? What does that say? Some Prince, some shit. Prime special jacket. Prime, excuse me. Prime, $3. You can get a Prime jacket from Adrian Peterson. The fuck is this shit? What is that? A something else. Oh, 26. Black hoodie, fashion hoodie. This nigga went in his closet and sold everything. This is one broke nigga, boy. God damn, this nigga's broke. What is this bullshit? Adrian Peterson, 28 Days of Christmas. Boy, this shit he didn't sell. This is shit he had. He was trying to sell this shit. Oh, this is when he was with the Skins. That's just some leftover bullshit he was trying to sell. What is this shit here? We fire ones. This is a broke nigga, boy. You don't help, you can't dress too. Oh, this nigga, man. Look at this ugly shit he got. What the fuck is this? What brand is this? They don't even tell you what it is. Fashion men's coat, Azar. Okay. Okay, Adrian, you selling your Azar, nobody wants it. Ugly ass Adidas shit. God damn, Adrian. What size is it? Large. Damn, he must not be a very big guy. Huh. I've seen him play, but I ain't stood next to the nigga to know how big he is. God damn. What is this shit? We Are Again. This must have been his brand that he didn't sell. This is a broke ass nigga, boy. Look at all this shit. This nigga is broker than broke. I kind of like this though. He leave. Extra large. Peterson extra large. Made for Adrian Peterson. This ain't bad. What is this made out of? Custom cloth. Tailored for this nigga. This nigga is so broke. God damn, Adrian, you's one broke ass nigga. This is embarrassing. So, yeah. If you want this shit, go on High Bids. Adrian Peterson is selling this shit on High Bids. You can get an Adrian Peterson jersey. This is one dumb nigga, boy. How you blow all that money? How do you blow all that money? Who is this nigga? I don't know who this nigga is right here. Paul Diamato, Dr. Hook McCracken and Slapshot. I don't know who this nigga is. He died. He played in The Deer Hunter. Okay, I don't remember him. Heaven's Gate, Suspect, Sharon, Dennis Quaid. Okay. All right. He died. Okay. Don't remember you, dude. Probably wasn't important, but the beast wanted you, so. Uh-oh. Look at these weirdos. Brother sentenced to 60 years in life for 1995 slaying of parents and their younger brother. This is David Freeman and Brian Freeman with Nelson. Wait. David Freeman left and Brian Freeman right. Sit with Nelson, not pictures. They appear in Midland, Michigan. Damn. The two Eastern Pennsylvania brothers sentenced to life in the slaying of their parents and younger brother almost 3 decades ago. Two Pennsylvania brothers sentenced to life and slaying of their parents and younger brother almost 3 decades ago have been resentenced in terms that may offer them a chance of life, a chance of parole. Sentenced 45 and 44 to terms of 60 years in prison to life. Both have served under 3 decades for their murder convictions and will be in their 70s if they appear for parole. They wept, expressed remorse, and took responsibility. We called it a terrible crime. Everyone deserves a safe, happy. He also says religious faith gave him belief they would be able to see my family again, apologize to them, and beg for forgiveness. They were 17 and 16 respectively when they affiliated with a white supremacist skinhead movement at the time in 95, slaying of Dennis and Brendan Freeman and their 11-year-old's brother. God damn, boy. Now, some of you Europeans, you some murdering motherfuckers, boy. You don't see niggas doing too much like that. Now, this is funny. When you see a European and they smoking, you know it probably had, but this chick lived to be Michelle Pearl dies, the devil in the flesh, Star Wars. And she smoked, but she smoked and she lived to be 101. Who is this? French actress, Devil in the Flesh, was started included, starring opposite John Garfield and Errol Flynn. Paris, a nurse having an affair with a student in the World War I drama Devil in the Flesh. Okay. 20th Fox, gave her Under My Skin, blah, blah, blah. Man answered, blah, blah, blah. Okay, how does she get in Star Wars? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Some bullshit. And that funny, everybody smoked in the 60s. Everybody smoked in the 60s. That's some nasty shit. That's why a lot of us end up having oh, who is this? I didn't hear about this. Activist Hydra Broadbent, who rose to prominence as a child living with HIV. HIV gained attention being part of America's first generation of children born positive in the late 80s. She was 39 and died. Nobody wanted that pussy, I bet. With great sadness, I inform you, blah, blah, blah. Infant was abandoned at the University of St. Michael's and later adopted by some peoples. Presumed that was born with HIV, but she was not diagnosed until she was 3. Initially tagged with her mother, began speaking publicly, a future, whatever. So this was her and HIV. She was happy as a child with HIV. She was taking that magic shit back then. She had pinned on Nickelodeon about HIV and AIDS with Magic. Shortly after basketball star that he had it. Johnson consoled the young, you can make it. Look at him. You can make it if you try, because, you know, I got $1 million and they giving me the cocktail already. I don't think Magic has HIV. I don't. My wife and I argue about this. Magic never had HIV. That's why Magic was allowed to make as much money as he had to pretend like he had HIV. But Magic never had HIV. So, and that's the way they tricked us to sell rubbers. And there's a generation of y'all that would only fuck with rubbers. Like y'all, I'm going to tell you, like my wife, my ex-wife is 50 years old. My wife now is, I think she's 53. God, I should know. 89. Yeah, she's about to be 53. She's 52. And like my ex-wife will be 50. She'll be 50 next month. And that's all she knows, other than we was trying to have children. It's like, where's your condom? That's all she knows. She was that generation that thought that they had to have condoms. And that's a big part of AIDS that people don't understand, is it was to sell condoms. Because nobody cared about that shit. Nobody thought about that shit in the free love. That's what AIDS was about, was to kill free love. You know, looking for Mr. Goodbar. People hooking up and fucking. You know, Richard Pryor, one thing you listen to Richard Pryor talking about the 50s, he says the great recession of the 50s. You know, the great no pussy in the 50s. Oh, this dude from Porky's died. They called him Moose or Beef or some shit. Tony Gano, stars of Porky's. Porky's is funny as a motherfucker. If you guys ain't watched Porky's, that shit's funny as shit. I want to say he played in the Revenge of the Nerds. Known for as a favorite man meat and Porky's as Perry. 79 coming of age. The Wanderers died following surgery. He had surgery. Shared social media, follow, blah, blah, blah. He was known comedian, blah, blah, blah. He played, blah, blah. Let's see. American Street Roughneck, based on a novel by Richard Priest. Unite with Kevin Well for a recurring role in Wise Guys. Yeah, he played in Wise Guys. He's best known as Meat in the Porky series. I want to say, yeah, he played in Porky's and he played in the Nerds, Revenge of the Nerds too. Porky's the Next Day, he played in Die Hard 2. I want to say he was in Revenge of the Nerds too. But that's how this guy got famous. Wasn't famous for very long. But you see, when they want him, they come get him. He died in surgery. Surgery, guys. Oh, and this is one I forgot to mention. He died last week. This cat right here. I didn't mention him. Robert Reed died at 68. Robert Reed never won a championship. He lost 2 championships to Larry Bird. Yeah, and Robert Reed, 55 to 2004. Did they give the cause of death? No cause of death, I don't think. Privilege, I never forget. But he lost to Larry Bird twice. He stepped away from basketball for religious reasons. I think he was on coke. A lot of people was on coke then. But this is Robert Reed. Lost to Larry Bird twice. Playing for the Hornets. Trailblazers in the 60s. So he became a journeyman. But Robert Reed, I forgot to mention this. I saw this the other day that he died. He became a journeyman. Here we go again. See, this is a mocking showing stars die all the time. Well, we're still within the Academy Awards. Judy Pulver, songwriter, variety sales executive, dies. So, who cares? We don't care about Julie, but the Beast does. So that's why the numbers were picked for her when she died. They don't pick it. You ain't dying. It says Dr. J turned 74. Hamburger Hill is a great movie. I was going to show something about it, but fuck that. Watch Hamburger Hill. Oh, walking. So how is Kanye's new album? I ain't listened to that yet. I found it, so I'm gonna listen to it tomorrow while I roll around. She got sold, and I'm super bad. I'm super bad. Forgot to bring some water up here. I drink enough beer. I don't need another beer. I've had enough. So, yeah. And then they talking about Bronny James ain't got it. Yeah, it's a lot of niggas that ain't got it that's in the NBA. Bronny James is going to be in the NBA, and he's going to do fine. He is going to do fine. Walter Walking, what's happening? Nicole B., thank you for coming. He was one of them devils. Jacked all that money off. Indeed. And I mean, yeah, child support, like the baby that got sacrificed of his. You know, that he lost the court case to that lady. And she was about to she got money. And, you know, he was able to see the son. You can see pictures of, he took the son to football camp. And, you know, he had 2-3-year-old. And then the boyfriend killed it because the boyfriend lost the power over the woman. So the boyfriend killed Adrian's son. I wasn't feeling the album. You wasn't feeling it? Okay. I saw a little bit of the first song, but I didn't really listen to it. So I think I'm going to call it. Man, I'll tell you though, I love these hats. Man, you can wear this motherfucker backwards. You can Donny Hathaway. You know, these Apple hats. You can Donny Hathaway. And this is Bruno Capella. I love these hats. I don't mind wearing baseball hats, but goddamn, shit. If I'm gonna pay $70, I'd rather have some wool on my head. And, you know, I like Godfather, but I love these kind of hats too, y'all. You can wear them backwards, you can wear them sideways, you know. You can Donny Hathaway this motherfucker, you know. Yeah, I love these type of hats. When I was a boy, this is the kind of shit my dad used to wear. So, you know, it's just a way of being grown up. That's all. That's all. Well, I'm going to take it. I'll be back tomorrow, y'all, around 12, between 12 and 1. So don't give up on me if I ain't on it exactly 12. I'll be fucking around, getting high, drinking, and, you know, taking care of my wife. She's been sick, but she's better now. She's been to work all week. But, you know, thank you. And thank you for coming, and thank you for watching my videos. I appreciate it. You know, I do appreciate the people that watch the videos. I mean, it seems like it's harder now for people to watch videos than it used to be. I mean, it's interesting. You know, last night, fucking Corey Holcomb had 15,000 people in the box. So there's still some people, but like, it's just funny that, like, I know me and some other people, like my other channel, I would regularly have 200-300 people watching. And 200-300 people watching the video afterwards. You know, I mean, it's just interesting the way the numbers have went down of showing that people watch products. So that's interesting. But I don't worry about that because I don't do this. I don't need the money. You know, I don't need money. I don't care about likes. It's the message. The message is the most important thing. And I'm the first one that says I give freely. You know, when I philosophize and try to get you to look at things, I ain't trying to sell you no things. I ain't talking about the Duketeer to talk down about that man for nothing. I thought what he did was foul as fuck. And ain't nobody can say I ever cheated him. Some niggas out there that watch me and other people that have, you know, cheated me out a little bit. It wasn't much, you know. If I couldn't afford to be cheated by it, I wouldn't have done it. But I ain't gonna sit here and give this nigga more publicity, you know. And he paid me a little of my money back, and that's cool. That's cool. You didn't pay me all of it back, but you paid me a little of it back. But that's all right too, you know. If you needed it, you know, I thought I was cool with you, but that's okay. You know, niggas show, and there's other niggas that's with him that's, you know, doing the same kind of fraud. Because again, birds of a feather flock together. So, you know, some niggas that's been doing fraud too that y'all watch. They done fraud in the past. If you watch them long enough, their fraud ain't long. It ain't noticeable, but it was still fraud. So I can say that is real of watching niggas since 16, 17. But I ain't busting you out. You know what you did. And I ain't never came on here and tried to get people to invest in shit, trade lines and bullshit like that. That's all fraud. You know? Trade lines is for when you get married. You get married and yeah, you both can use it, but Yes, niggas out here that you sell that shit. So you can't deny, you can't talk shit about me and say, well, you know, no, nigga, you used to sell that shit. And that shit is fraud. There's no way to get around it. It's fraud. Trade lines is fraud. Till we meet again.